What's up everybody and welcome back. Today, the goal is to do some body work on the cab. Got most of the major stuff done, but we got some little tedious things to do here and there yet to get it finished up and in primer. Then we can set it back down on the chassis. Anyways, let's jump into it. Alright, so we got a little bit more work to do on this area yet. We got all these little holes that were used for mounting the heater box onto the firewall here, as well as this little hole. Then we got to come in here, fill in all these, and not going to work on this area just yet. Not 100% sure what all I need to remove. Right now I'm planning on mounting the Duramax brake booster on these studs, but I'm not 100% sure if that's going to work until I have the cab back down on the chassis. So this stuff's going to wait until then. Let's jump into this stuff. Camera died on me there, so here's a quick walk around to where we're at. Got this all smoothed out. It's ready for a finish coat of glazing putty just to fill in all the sanding marks. Still got to deal with this. We shaved the gas cap. Pulled a little bit of dent out here. Pulling dents out here. These are pretty much done, just gotta snip these off and smooth that out. Did some more work in this area. Had a clearance right here for the frame to fit. And cab corner is on both sides are just about ready for putty. This one needs a little bit more work, but lift's in the way to get at that one. Got the windows pulled out. Found a little bit of rust on the corners on each side. Doesn't look like too big of a deal. Should be able to get at them fairly easy once I get the dash out of here. And then the reason I pulled the windshield out, other than to look for rust, is I will be cutting the strip rail off and then welding the seam shut for a nice clean look. Also in the process there, I got bored of doing body work and needed a break from that, so I mounted the brake pedal in here. Got to do a little bit of work to this to move it over, but right now it's just mounted up in the factory location for the 67 brake pedal. Okay, so here is the factory brake pedal in the 67 next to the one from the Duramax. And as you can see, this one's offset quite a bit more than this one. Now I've already modified the steering column mount to accept this smaller diameter shaft. And my next step is going to be cutting about right here, then moving that and welding it on this side. And also, if you notice, this one's offset a little bit. This one's offset quite a bit. So I'm also going to take and heat right here and right here and kind of straighten that out a little bit. Alright, so we got this straightened out, moved over to the side. Okay, so I haven't measured anything yet. I have had this sitting in here, and I think this fits up to here. I'll have to I have to take this ring out from the old one yet, but that should fit all the way through there. Maybe have to do a little bit of cutting, and then just use the existing mounting bracket on there. Now to get this to fit in here, this will be getting cut off. I'll be making my own bracket that bolts into these two holes already. I haven't measured yet, but I think this should fit in here. And then this, oh, let me get this out of the way here. Should mount up in here like so with a custom. So my plan is going to somewhat work. This is about 4 or 5 inches away from the firewall yet when I get it into place. And I'm having issues with all of this right here. Mostly this part right here wants to hit this section. So I'm going to take and cut along here to clearance for that. And then I'll just take and weld in some sheet metal around that to reinforce it again. Alright, so this is roughly where it's going to sit, hopefully. I gotta get a seat in here and make sure it's not protruding too far out into the cab to be comfortable. Alright, so I got the seat fitted in. We're just test setting it here for our driver here, Gus. But anyways, it's about roughly at the dash. I gotta cut a little more back in there to get this to sit farther back. Then I'll build a whole custom mount for the gauge cluster that sinks in here. But I think we got good clearance for the steering wheel to seat. The brake pedal, I got a clock. I'll have to cut the mount off for the shift cable. Clock it a little bit differently so we can get some more motion with the brake pedal. And then for the gas pedal, should be able to weld some tabs onto the firewall there and be able to just bolt it right in there. Alright, quick recap of what we've accomplished the past couple of days. Finished smoothing out the firewall where the heater box was. Shaved and smoothed out where the hole for the gas cap fill was. Popped a bunch of dents out. Just about have all that finished up and ready for Bondo. Then I messed with seating position, got the brake pedal mounted, and have come up with a game plan for mounting the steering column, the gauge cluster, and the gas pedal. And that's about it. I'm about to finish cleaning up this and call it a night. Later.